You have probably stood in your garden staring at a trail of leafcutter ants moving in a perfectly organized line from your fruit tree straight into the ground. You watch them carry pieces of leaves 3 times their own body size without slowing down for a second. And your first instinct was to grab something from the store, pour it on the mound, and consider the problem handled. 2 weeks later they were back. Same trail, same tree, same organized destruction. Most people repeat this cycle for years. They spend money on chemical formicides, drench the main entrance hole, see activity slow for a few days, and then watch the colony reopen from a different exit point entirely. The ant does not panic when you attack from the outside. It simply reroutes. It has been doing that for millions of years, and it is very good at it. What almost nobody considers is a completely different approach. One that costs less than 50 cents, requires no chemicals, no equipment, and no protective gear. One where the ant itself does all the work of carrying the solution deep inside the colony to the exact place where the damage is done. Raw rice. That is the entire material list. But the way you use it, when you place it, and how long you stay consistent with the application is what separates the people who see results from the people who try it once and give up convinced it does not work. Here is the detail that changes everything, and that most people never learn. Leafcutter ants do not eat leaves. They carry leaves underground, chew them into a paste, and use that paste as a growing medium for a specific fungus. That fungus is what the entire colony feeds on. Every ant in that mound, from the smallest worker to the queen herself, depends entirely on that internal fungal garden for survival. The leaves are not food. They are farming equipment. This means that when you attack the ant directly with surface poison, you are fighting the symptom. The real vulnerability of the colony is not the ant, it is the fungus. Destroy the fungus or disrupt its growth conditions, and the colony collapses from the inside out. No queen can hold together a colony that has lost its food source. No number of worker ants can fix a failed harvest. This is precisely where raw rice enters the picture. Raw rice contains dense concentrations of starch. When worker ants carry rice grains into the warm, humid interior of the mound, and the grains remain in that environment, the starch begins fermenting. The fermentation process alters the chemical environment of the fungal garden in a way the fungus cannot tolerate. The crop fails. The colony weakens progressively. Activity on the trail drops. The population shrinks. Within 5 to 15 days, depending on colony size, the problem resolves from the inside without a single drop of poison touching your soil. Researchers studying leafcutter ant behavior in Brazilian agricultural settings have documented that interventions targeting the internal fungal culture consistently outperform surface chemical applications because the colony is deep, branched, and largely insulated from anything applied at ground level. The rice method works because the ant delivers it herself. Raw rice must be whole and completely uncooked. This is not a detail you can skip. Cooked rice deteriorates before reaching the fungal chamber. Broken rice grains may be ignored by foragers looking for manageable pieces to carry. Rice seasoned with salt, oil, or any other substance will repel the ant rather than attract her. Plain whole raw white rice is the only version that works consistently. Now here is the preparation step that significantly increases the probability that the ant will pick up and carry the grain. Before placing the rice on the trail, rub the grains lightly against fresh green leaves from a plant already growing near the ant trail. It can be a citrus leaf, a guava leaf, or any plant the ants are already cutting from. This transfers the scent of familiar material onto the surface of the rice grain. The ant recognizes the smell as something belonging to her working environment and treats the grain as a piece of raw material to be transported rather than an unknown object to avoid. You are not crushing the leaf. You are not making a paste. You are passing the leaf over the rice the way you might run a cloth over a surface, lightly and evenly. This single preparation step is the difference between rice that sits on the trail ignored and rice that disappears into the mound within hours of placement. Quantity matters as well. For a medium colony with 3 to 5 visible entry holes, 2 to 3 tablespoons of prepared rice per application is sufficient. Distribute the rice in 3 or 4 small clusters along the length of the trail rather than piling it all near the main entrance. Place each cluster directly at ground level on a dry leaf or small piece of cardboard. Ants transport material most efficiently when it is at the same level they are walking on. Leafcutter ants follow a daily schedule, and understanding it is what separates a successful application from a wasted one. Activity on the trail peaks in the late afternoon and early evening, typically between 4 and 6 o'clock, particularly on overcast days, or in the hours following light rain. At midday under strong direct sun, trail activity drops significantly. Ants reduce surface movement to avoid heat and dehydration. If you place rice at 10 in the morning during a sunny day, it may sit untouched on the trail until evening, by which point it may have dried out further, shifted position, or been disturbed by wind. Place your rice between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, when the trail is already at peak activity. The window between placement and nightfall, a heavy downpour within an hour of application, will wash the rice off the trail before any ant can carry it. If significant rainfall is forecast, postpone placement by 1 day. Light humidity or a brief drizzle before application is actually beneficial because it slightly increases ant activity and helps the leaf scent on the rice remain detectable for longer. Place rice along the entire visible length of the trail, not only at the mound entrance. Ant trails can extend 10 to 15 meters from the main colony opening. Distributing rice across multiple points along this path increases the total volume of grains entering the colony per day and accelerates the impact on the internal fungal garden. The most common reason this method fails for people who try it is not incorrect preparation or wrong timing. It is abandonment after 1 or 2 applications when no dramatic result is visible. Leafcutter ant colonies do not collapse overnight from a biological disruption. The process moves through the colony gradually. On days 3 and 4 of consistent application, observant gardeners begin noticing something specific on the trail. The flow of workers becomes irregular. There are periods of heavy movement followed by stretches where the trail is nearly empty. This irregularity is not random. It reflects internal disorganization in the colony as the fungal garden begins failing. Worker ants that normally move in coordinated waves begin showing erratic behavior because the central organizing signal of a healthy food supply is weakening. By day 7 or 8, some observers notice ants exiting mound entrances and returning without carrying any material, moving in apparently purposeless patterns near the opening. This is a visible sign that the colony is losing internal coherence. Apply rice every 2 days for a minimum of 10 days. After 10 days of consistent application, if visible activity on the trail has decreased substantially, continue with 3 additional applications on alternating days as a completion phase. Leafcutter colonies can maintain surviving subgroups in secondary chambers deep within the mound. The completion phase addresses remnant populations before they rebuild. Stopping treatment the moment the trail goes quiet is the single most common reason the problem returns 4 to 6 weeks later. Chemical formicides work on contact. They require the poison to physically reach the queen and the fungal chambers, which in a mature leafcutter colony can sit more than 2 meters below the soil surface in a branching network of tunnels that redirects around localized threats automatically. The colony detects chemical intrusion, seals affected tunnels, and opens new exits. This is not resistance to the product. It is architecture. The mound was built specifically to survive surface-level attacks. The rice method does not trigger any defensive response, because it does not resemble an attack. The ant perceives the grain as a piece of working material and carries it involuntarily. There is no chemical signature of threat, no foreign smell to avoid, no sudden environmental change to respond to. The disruption happens at the destination, not at the surface, and by the time the colony begins experiencing the consequences, the source is already deep inside. Raw rice leaves no residue in your soil. It does not contaminate vegetable beds. It poses no risk to chickens, dogs, or other animals moving through the area. It does not require protective equipment, mixing, or disposal. The total cost for a complete treatment cycle of 10 to 14 days is under $1 even for large colonies. The gardeners who solve persistent ant problems are not the ones who spend the most on intervention products. They are the ones who take the time to understand what the ant actually needs to survive and then work with that behavior rather than against it. The colony needs its fungus. You are going to make the fungus fail. The ant will carry everything you need directly to the source. 50 cents of raw rice and 10 days of consistency is all it takes. The trail is there. The method is ready. Start this afternoon. If this changed the way you think about pest control in your garden, subscribe and share the channel. We are uncovering practical knowledge that works with nature instead of fighting it. More forgotten solutions are coming soon.